Hi folks, John here. This is the Bacopa caroliniana. It's a great low-tech plant that hails from America, particularly South America, but it also grows in northern parts of America as well. It's one of those, I would say it's a low-tech plant that actually looks the same or around about the same when it grows out in the submerged form. So you won't get a lot of surprises, and there aren't a lot of transitions for the plant to go through, which means that you're not going to get a lot of melt with this plant. It's an amazing low-tech plant. So by that I mean you don't need to inject CO2. You don't need to have strong lighting. It can tolerate various temperature conditions, so from about 21 degrees to about 28 degrees. That means if you're running a heater in winter and you've turned it up, or because you've got fish that require a heated setup, the plant shouldn't suffer too much. Okay, but it's quite resilient. Another good thing about this plant is that because it's a root feeder and it's also a foliar feeder, that means a foliar feeder, which means that it feeds from its leaves as well. It's very, very good at sucking up nutrients from the water column, particularly if they're nitrates or nitrites that can impact on your fish. I got a question the other day about this plant. Hey, if I get a plant like this, because we only sell them by the stems, if I buy this plant, it's just going to float to the top, and it won't look great. So my suggestion to that is you just grab a scissors or a small knife, you cut it like that, and then what you do is you let it rest on the substrate like that, and then you put a rock on top of the stem. Now what you'll find is over time the sides of the stem will then grow roots, and then if you rest it horizontally like that, the plant will then start to shoot out and grow upwards. Okay, so it'll grow the roots on the side of the stems, and then once the roots are in place and the plant's secured to the gravel or to the substrate, then it'll shoot up. Now I do recommend that in time that you use some Osmocote root feeding tablets, because although they will absorb water, absorb nutrients from the water column, they also need nutrients from the substrate. So I would use root tabs to help this plant grow better. So in summary, it's a great beginner plant. If you have a look at it, it doesn't need to go through a lot of transitions from the immersed form, which is this form here, to the submerged form, which is the form in which the plant grows underwater. So you won't get a lot of melt. It sucks up a lot of excess nutrients. If you're overfeeding your fish, there's a lot of ammonia or nitrates in the water. This plant will suck that up and clean the water up to give the water a very clear look. It also competes with algae directly because it is a fast growing plant. So yeah, all in all, perfect beginner plant. If this is your first aquarium, or if you've got kids and you're putting in plants for the first time and you want to not be hassled with taking care of it, the plant usually takes care of itself. And just routinely, maybe every 3 months or so, I would probably drop in a root tab. A hot tip about root tabs: they can burn the root of the plant. So when you put them into the soil, the roots obviously directly under the plant, and they spread out a bit. So I would put it there, about 2 to 3 inches away from the plant itself. And the reason being is that the plant will grow out the roots towards the root tab, and it'll stop if it gets too acidic. In terms of acidity in the water, this plant will tolerate something roughly that's about a pH of about 6.5 to about 7. So it prefers an slightly acidic environment, but it can also grow in more alkaline water that's about 7 or so. Okay, so it's a great beginner plant. reach out if you want to buy this plant from us. Thanks.